Brian, Brian will buy your car for $9,000. I just need you to choose one of these payments, circle it and initial it, and we'll get your new Honda ready for delivery.
That would be great, Steve. Unfortunately, the 9,000 is not the amount that I had in mind for my trade. I did a lot of research online and we're a little bit low.
Okay. Brian, the fact that you're telling us...
Matter of fact, you're quite a bit low.
Okay. The fact that you're telling us that we're not giving you enough for your trade is evidence that you are a perfectly normal human being. Virtually everyone that buys a car from us says exactly the same thing. We understand it's not a problem. Other than the $9,000 we'll buy your trade for, though, everything else is cool. Nothing else stops you from taking delivery today, correct?
On the pre-owned car, I understand the price is non-negotiable and I'm okay with the price on there, but the price for my car is not acceptable.
Okay, understand. Brian, you don't know us that well yet. You will in the coming months. You'll find out that we're an organization that
Not
does.
if you don't give me more for my trade.
Okay, I understand. You're going to find out we do what we say we're going to do. Okay? Lots of our customers come from customers. So you're going to be on the golf course at church, out to dinner at work one day, and someone's going to ask you about a car, new or used. We hope you send them to us. Okay?
Not if you don't get that right, Steve.
Well, let me explain how this works. All right. By the way,
Tell me what you're working with.
$9,000 is our.
You can use my pen.
I got it. $9,000 is our initial investment into the car. Okay.
Well, it won't be your initial investment at that price.
I understand. Please recognize this. If you send us someone, they're going to find a really pretty car.
I won't send you anybody at those numbers, Steve.
I know. And they're not going to just find a pretty car. They're going to find a safe car,
You
too.
won't find this pretty car at that number, Steve.
If they buy your car the way it sits right now and take it home and show it off, someone's going to come over to them and say, wow, that's a pretty car. Because your car is pretty.
Sure is.
And they're going to go
That's why it needs to be more money for my
it's going to be a pretty dangerous car.
Right.
Because you need 4 tires.
I understand.
But you know what? We wouldn't do that to a friend or a coworker of yours. We're going to put 4 new tires on that car, Brian. Now, you've put tires on it before. How much will those
About
cost?
$600.
Okay, you know what? We get them for probably cheaper than you do. So I bet you we won't spend but maybe $550. Okay? Now, you did a smart thing. That smart thing was you didn't get the 60,000 mile service done because you knew you were going to trade the car. But if someone's going to give you or anybody else top dollar for the car, they're going to want to know that 60,000 mile service was done. How much would that have been had you had it completed?
$400.
You know what? We'll do it for less than that, I guarantee it. Now, you have dings and dents running up and down both sides of the car because you live in Metro Atlanta, all right? This is what happens. But if someone's going to give someone top dollar for that car, they're going to want to make sure the dings and dents are pretty much gone. We use a guy that basically spends 3 or 4 days a week on our lot. He's a paint and stent removal fellow. He charges about $100 per side, okay? And your windshield. It's got a star in it. Have you looked into having it replaced?
No need to. The star's fine.
Okay, well...
I had it fixed so they wouldn't spread.
Okay, well, for us to retail it, we have to replace the windshield. Okay, most people don't because, you probably have a $500 comprehensive deductible. So it made sense for you not to do it. But we will have to do that. So, Brian, we'll invest $9,000 in your car. But before anybody will drive it, see it, much less have a chance to buy it, they're going to see a completely different car, one that's basically nearly new. By the way, we don't just run a car like that through our car wash and wipe it down. We will take it to our detail shop where we are liable to have to unbolt all the seats, take them out, steam clean them, shampoo the carpets, take a toothbrush to the interior, put it up on a rack, pressure wash the undercarriage, bring it down, steam clean the engine. Now,
So you did that to the pre-owned car that I'm buying?
oh yes, make no mistake.
Somebody must have driven it because there's a lot of crumbs underneath that seat.
Oh, you got the as-is car.
Oh, I did?
Oh yeah, the crumbs come with it, absolutely.
So you're going to sell
Okay.
mine as is? Because if so, you don't need to do all this stuff to it.
Yours won't be as-is, okay?
So my car's nicer than your car, so I'm going backwards. before I pick that up.
No. You're making out like a bandit, and I'll show you. By the way, that detail I just described would cost you $200 on the open market, but we do it every day, so we spend about
That's got
$1.50.
great pricing on service.
Yes, we do, as a matter of fact. Add this up if you'd be so kind.
1100
$550,
is 16, 1750.
$1750. Okay? So, we will have $10,750 invested in your trade-in before we ever try to sell it. But we will not have a nickel invested in your trade-in unless you pick one of these payments out.
Steve, these payments are irrelevant because I'm going to write you a check for the car. My biggest concern is the value for my trade. You're still a little short. So I do appreciate your time today.
Okay, hey, Brian, not a problem. You know, Brian, the fact that you think your car is worth more than we're willing to buy it for, as I told you, was evidence that you're normal.
Steve, no disrespect, but I didn't just make up the number. I went online. I'd used several different sources. I also looked on Auto Trader to see what they're retailing for. Car retails for $14,500 all day long.
Okay.
With everything done, the tires, the service, the windshield, the dings, the dents, the pulling the seats out, the steam clean, the pressure washer, the Jimmy Jam package, all that done on there, I can still sell for $14,500 out on the market.
Okay.
So I'm willing to take a little less than $14,500, but I can't take $9,000.
I'm going to guess that if we had put an $11,500 number out there, you might be a lot happier.
You'd be closer, yes, sir.
Be closer. Okay. Well, I don't know what sort of research you've done, Brian, but the research is excellent research. Okay? Your car can be worth significantly more than $9,000. No doubt about that. However, in order to make it worth more than $9,000, somebody is going to have to invest some money in it. Now, it can be you or it can be us. And if you want to do it, we will help you do that. All right? But if you're going to get anywhere close to $11,500 for that vehicle, and by the way, a new one is just a little more than $14,500. So I don't know where you got that number, but oftentimes the internet will make mistakes. But you're right, the car can be worth a lot more than $9,500. I'm thinking the car could be worth, we're hoping the car could be worth as much as $11,500, maybe even $12,000. But if it's going to be worth that, someone has to invest in it, okay? Let's say it's going to be you, because if you can get a decent return on your investment, you'd be crazy not to. You said you'd spend $600 on tires, right?
Right.
Okay? You said you'd spend $400 to service it, because when you're talking about a full retail number,
So if I spent $2,000, it'd be at $11,000.
Okay, let's just take $2,000.
But I wouldn't sell it for $11,000. I'd sell it closer for the $14,500. Even if I gave it away at $13,500. If I took your $9,000, I put $2,000 in it, now I got $11,000 in it. Everybody online selling it at $14,500. I can short sell it $13,500 and still make a little bit of pocket change.
Brian, what sort of people look online to buy a car? People looking to pay full retail or people looking for a bargain?
Even if I give them a little bargain.
Well,
And let's say I give it to them at $13,000.
I tell you what. Let's do a hypothetical. I'm going to throw in a miracle for you. Okay?
Make me a miracle.
All right. Let's
Save that
say
magic wand.
you spend $2,000. You advertise it for $13,000.
I would do a little bit more, but
Okay. Advertise it for $14,000.
gotcha. I like it. Like
Okay.
the way you're thinking, Steve. We're getting close.
Okay. Well, you know what? Shoot. Advertise it for $15,000.
No, I wouldn't sell it for more than everybody else is.
You're not going to sell it for $14,000.
Yeah, but I wouldn't
regardless.
advertise. I want to sell it. I want to do a short sale, sell it, move on. I want to price it a little bit cheaper than everybody else is. So everybody else out there is $14,500. Let's do mine at $14,100.
You've got
I
11.
got a really nice car.
You've got-
This seat's been out, pressure washed, new tires, new round of rubber, completely serviced at the dealer. This thing's standing tall, ready to go.
You've invested $2,000
Yes, sir.
into this car that you're not going to keep. Most people don't do that, but if you'd like to, we're here to help you.
I understand.
Okay? You've got $11,000 into it. Now, you write an ad, and the ad has got to be terrific. Okay? Because that's
My
what...
wife's a good writer.
Good. Because that's what drives the phone calls. That's what you want. You want phone calls. You don't want 10, you don't want 20, you want hundreds of phone calls. And by the way, don't count on voice message. You must answer every one of those calls because somebody looking for a car is going down a list. Okay? And if they get voice message, it's click. So make sure you answer the hundreds of phone calls. If you get 100 phone calls,
If I get 100 phone calls, I'm doing good.
well, you're
I'm
going
going to sell it for $14,500.
Well, you're going to find 50 people who are interested. You're going to find 25 people who are willing to set an appointment, and you're going to find 10 who actually show up. Okay?
I got a pretty good chance.
Yeah, those are the numbers that work for us, and they'll probably work for you too. Now, one thing you'll want to be really careful with, when one of these 10 people show up and they want to take it for a drive, and they offer you a driver's license and a $100 bill as a deposit, do not take the $100 bill. Do not pay any attention to the driver's license, because the easiest way for someone to steal a car today, and this is one of the most stolen cars in America, is not to go out after midnight, put on a ski mask, and take a little Slim Jim. They do it completely differently now. They get online early on a Sunday morning, make a pot of coffee, light up a cigarette, and call you. And you willingly invite them to your home. Okay? So now you have a car thief in your home. Now the best thing you can do is just ride with them. Okay?
Yeah, I wouldn't let them drive around. So.
You're going to sell this car not once, not twice.
Good news is I got full coverage, so if they steal the car, I'll get $14,500 for it. As long as they don't harm me.
Okay. Well, you won't get 14.5, but we'll
If
talk
I get
about
13.5, I'm still ahead of the game.
You'll get around 9, which is wholesale value for the
Yeah,
car.
my
all
Smith
right?
and Wesson and I, we're going to go for a little ride.
Okay. Anyway, you're going to sell the car more than once. And what I mean by that is you're going to have someone look you dead in the eye, shake your hand, and say, I love the car, I'll take it, I'll be back and bring you the money.
They don't show up.
They don't ever come back. Okay? It happens to us, it's going to happen to you. But you will sell your car. Now, let's say that you have had it advertised, well, it takes us between 30 and 45 days to sell a used car. We spend 50, 60 grand a year or a month in advertising. We got 30 of us here who are paid to sell them, and we got about 100,000 cars passing us every single day. So is it safe to say it might take you 30 to 45 days?
I don't think it'll take that long.
Brian, if it takes us that long, and it takes most people that long, there's a chance it may take you that long. Regardless of how long it takes, you're going to make one more $443 car payment, aren't you? Because just because you're selling the car, does Bank of America not want you to pay for it anymore?
Yeah, if you notice on the front over here, I don't have a payoff on it.
No, yes
Pay
you
it
do.
cash.
Your payment is $443.
Okay, I got a
Okay.
payment now. Okay.
Yes, you had a fucking payment before. Normally I don't get confrontation.
I want to know, is he buying the car or is he selling the car? Is he buying one or selling one?
All right. So you're going to sell your car multiple times.
No.
Okay. You're going to have a nice young couple come over one day, and by the way, by this time you've gotten a little bit tired of being a car salesman, and they're going to offer you, let's say they offer you $12,000, which is $3,000 more than we can pay for your car.
But I put $2 grand in it.
Yeah, you put $2 grand in it, but you know what? You've been doing this for 45 days. You don't want to make another car payment. You're
Right.
sick and tired, and this is what happens, Brian. We get this from our customers.
Show me where I signed, Steve. Just tell me where I'm signing. Let me get out of here.
Hold on. So they say yes, and they offer you cash money. But do me a favor, multiply 12,000 times 6.5%.
12,000 times 6.5%. $780 is your answer, Steve. That'll make 2 of my fucking payments.
The customer's got to pay you $12,780, and 94% of the population doesn't realize that. They've always, in a private party transaction, done it without a tax. But the law changed March 1st. Here's what's happening. Most people trying to sell the car themselves are ending up having to discount the vehicle again for the amount of the tax, because the private party transaction, the people don't want to pay it.
Right.
However, let's say that these people do pay you. So you get $12,780, all right? You have netted $1,000. Well, not quite. You did have to make the $443 payment, didn't you? So you've netted $557. And you know what I'd do for $557? I would sell that car myself. I'd go through the pain and misery. I'd ride with potential car thieves.
Glad we agree.
I'd
I'll see
sell
you
it
next week in 45 days. Steve.
I'd sell it multiple times, sit back down, but here's the unpleasant surprise you get when you come back here. Multiply 9,000 times 6.5%.
That's $585, Steve.
That's the tax credit you lose. So, that's your net victory right there. you lose $18. You become a car salesman, which, by the way, is about the way we do it around here. And you've wasted 45 days. Now, you can go through all this to lose $18, or you can say, gee, Steve, this payment at 60 months looks perfect. Let me take my
Not
new
sure what
used car.
math school you went to, Steve, but the difference between $9,585,000 and $12,780 is a bit difference. It's $3,000.
Remember what it took to get this. You had to invest $2,000.
Right.
Okay? So you netted, after your initial expenses, $1,000. You had to make one more car payment on it. You lost the tax
Did you
credit.
pull my credit yet, Steve?
Your credit's got nothing to do with any of this.
Okay. It's a
Okay.
cash deal.
It's got nothing to do with any of this.
I just
Okay.
want to know if you can get me finance.
You're paying cash.
Oh, and you told me I was going to have a payment, so
No, this was the payment on your old fucking car.
I got you.
Okay?
That piece of shit, that's over $9 grand.